And
The
do like a wide
sidelong?
shot of
Yeah,
both
yeah.
teams. Yeah, you know the one,
Hey,
And there
we
it
did it
is,
though.
thank you, see. There we go, so we're in. But we are going to see exactly how it goes. It is eStars on the blue side again and BLG on the red. So where do we want to see BLG change things up? It's this, same sides of the map. Where do you want to see them change?
Well, certainly that mid lane, we already kind of talked about it. Now, Zoe again banned away by eStar. They realized they don't want these picks, the Akali as well. So when I look towards like the champion pool that's there, I mean, the Orianna could still come out for the likes of Zeke in that mid lane if they really wanted to. And I think that would be the best place here, is just have this more farm orientated mid that can pressure against the likes of the Syndra, or at least go even in the Syndra matchup. And then you can look when we get to these mid to late game team fights to have a secondary big carry that BLG will be a lot more comfortable with.
Well, you wanted to see Zeke on the Zoe, but he's banned away off it again. You see the Orin getting banned away this time as well. So ZS, despite not having a great laning phase, definitely had a lot of presence in those team fights. And again, like I said, eStars, you get that Graves priority again. I feel like that's fine for you.
Yeah, and especially when Meteor wasn't really able to find opportunities to dual hack her. Like, as this Olaf, you do have a pretty sizable advantage if you can find those fights, especially when the Gore Drinker spikes. With the chase down potential that you have with these axes, there's not much that Graves can really do. So I'd like to see them try and go towards a strong mid laner now to facilitate Meteor here on BLG side, where maybe you can find more of these opportunities. But it certainly felt like Meteor wasn't even looking. He was more interested in the likes of these early dragons and setting up BLG for that strong mid game that kind of fell apart.
I do like this, though, from the side of BLG, giving Mark something with a lot more reliable engage. You have the Leona rather than the Gragas. Gragas very much relying on his flash, I feel, with those flash body slams. So getting the Leona with the Zenith Blade and the Shield of Daybreak combo is a lot more potent, and it should lead to a little bit of an easier time. But that being said, a fantastic counter, regardless of who's playing it, into the Leona is the Thresh. And you've got Irma on this Syndra. Honestly, I feel like running this back right now is totally fine for eStars.
Exactly, and it's not like you've committed to any sort of composition either, right? I mean, you've still got the potential to opt in towards some long-range picks if you want to go towards the Jhin, maybe something like a Jace or something in the top lane for ZS. Like, you can go towards more pick, you can go towards heavy team fight if you want to, picking up more, a lot of other options as well, like for the side of eStar. Like, you have plenty here that you can still pivot into as eStar when BLG solidify their draft more so with the next pick. But certainly, I see an Orianna, I see a Leona, I see this Olaf. They're looking towards dive on the side of BLG and potentially pairing it with the likes of the Aatroxes and these kind of things for BU in the top lane.
See what they want to go for. Looks like the AD carries are going to be focused out here by BLG. Neither side picking up their AD carry as of yet. Samira and Misfortune being banned away. Gragas being banned by the side of eStars, feeling that might be able to go up to BU in that top side. Do not want to give that one away. And overall, eStars, again, I was just going to say this, apart from maybe Rat changing on Xayah, they will have to change the next two picks, in my opinion, just because Xayah didn't really work that well. Yes, it was super, super safe, but we went super late game, so, hyper carry is going to hyper carry. So I want to see them do something different, but we will see something different in the top side, purely because the Ornn has been banned.
If eStar don't ban the Jhin here, that'll more than likely be the first pick here for BLG. Especially when you're looking at, like, again, it's got a team fight oriented composition, very strong bot lane in the Leona Jhin combination as well. And as well, like, if you start to then look at like the other champions that could potentially go down there, an Ezreal or something along these lines, you just don't really have a very strong way of playing around it.
Well, Jhin is going to be the lock-in here for BLG with the Kai'Sa, Misfortune, Felios, and Samira now taken off the board. You can maybe go towards the Draven. It is not impossible. Definitely seen stranger things, but there are still options available to Rat here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the Ashe that he hovered anyway. Leona does very well into that. But he's hovering. I mean, this is the problem. You're starting to go down the champion pool, and he's going to go for the Xayah again. Now, at least Xayah, you do get quite a lot of safety here in this bottom lane because you do have the ability to self-peel. Particularly from the likes of that Leona ultimate, which means that now when you pair that with Xiaoxi, he's got an ability to play safe. So at least that bottom lane can remain safe. But from the point of view of there's the push potential and the kill threat, the all-in potential, certainly BLG are sky high when we look towards that bottom side. However, ZS going
Looks
back
like-
towards that cannon. So I'm just looking towards, again, big team fighting composition coming through from eStar. And you're going to be specifically looking towards these hooks and these long-range CCs coming through from Irma as well to set up these fights, allowing ZS maneuver into the position that he needs to on a flank. Whereas when you look on the BLG side, they're decided that they're going to go with the Jace. So they decided, hey, look, we're going to go, instead of opting in towards what I expect to be more of a dive kind of orientated style, they've seen that, okay, well, eStar, they want to have, as we said, the hooks and this long-range CC coming through from the Syndra. Well, if we can outrange that with these deadly flourishes and with these accelerated shock blasts, we can look to poke, make it very difficult for eStar to find their engages, and then when the time suits us, we can follow up with the Leona. So I like how BLG have pivoted this draft to set themselves up.
They've pivoted very much strong towards those strong soul lanes and really try and keep down this cannon. And I feel like we should be seeing Meteor up in that top side very soon and very often if he wants to try and make this Jace work. And it's kind of a bit of an interesting composition because eStars wants to just run at you right now, catch you out, run at you, get the cannon in on the flank. Whereas I feel like on the other side, BLG, they just want to run away. They just want to keep you at a distance, keep throwing out those, long-range abilities and just keep you in a controlled center. So I'm curious to see how both sides kind of play out their compositions.
Exactly, and I think this is going to be very much down to who gets control of the objective first, because if you're already in river and you're able to start slinging these shots, especially as you funnel through some of these teams to try and get into river, get that vision control, it becomes very easy to get these big shock blasts, these shock waves, shock and awe. Like overall, BLG can do a huge amount in those small tight corridors. But same when you look over on the other side of eStar, if they're the ones who are getting these early objective controls, but then it again becomes very difficult to BLG because you don't know where ZS is going to be. Same, Syndra can do very well as you try to enter into the river brush. So a lot of this is going to be coming down to how well can you set yourselves up in the early stages. And when I look at a super strong bot lane for BLG, a winning top and a winning jungle matchup as well for BLG, it should in theory be them who are getting control of this early game.
We are on to the Rift for Game 2 of eStars versus BLG. Again, we're looking, you talk about the shock blast, shock wave, aftershock for Mark. They're trying to see if Static does in fact strike twice. So they look to track down eStars and bring us to a Game 3. Meteor back on this Olaf, had a very subdued Game 1. Definitely looking to see if he can do a little bit more here against Hacker on this Graves. And again, I feel like Hacker is just going to do what he did last game and just, just farm up. Don't need to do something crazy. Get your Gale Force, look for the 1v1 somewhere, and you're just at such a huge power spike that there's nothing else anyone can do.
I'm looking at this mid lane rune choices as well. Oftentimes when we used to see the likes of this Syndra into Orianna matchup, we'd see the Orianna opt in towards Biscuit and Time Warp Time, because this lane tends to get played very fast by the Syndra, where she's throwing out all these damaging abilities. You want to start to back early to get the another Doran's or a Dark Seal or something in this matchup. More so on the Orianna, she'd be working towards Merc Threads very quickly, but because of how valuable Cosmic Insight has become with the ability haste and the item haste as well, just everyone has decided to go, you know what, Time Warp Tonic, you're nice, you're great, you do help me out, but there's just so much value inherent to this Cosmic Insight right now that even in these matchups that aren't as favorable for the Orianna, people are still opting to go towards that.
Interesting their pathing, you can see by Meteor opting to not start his blue or his red just yet. And as I say, that Hacker is in the mid lane. Thought he was just going to hard farm all day, all the time. But they're both going to flash in. No, Zika's alive and he's ticking down, but he has got the biscuit to keep him alive. Ooh, that was close, but well played by Zika. And he won't lose anything because he can TP back to the lane.
He will, but it does burn a very early TP. So this gives a massive advantage to Irma, who he can shove in this wave, back, get a reset for himself, and still hold on to that TP for later on. So, and hang on, bot side.
Yeah, bot side, Xenoplay goes in. We do see the Deadly Flourish going down as Rat has to pop his cleanse. The Ignite was ticking. They almost certainly would have been able to take him down. So advantage going over to BLG. They get a huge chunk of his health bar, and he has not got a lot of sustain.
I mean, this story is very similar to what we saw in the last game, where mid lane for BLG gets set behind early, bot lane for BLG is playing incredibly well, and Amy and Mark just seem to be synergizing so damn cleanly in this laning phase. Again, forcing early pressure on towards Rat, he's backed away, Cleanse is burnt, and if Meteor now comes down towards his bot lane, I'm smelling a cheeky dive here, Penguin.
Yeah, honestly, you have the tools to do it. You've got the Olaf, you've got the Leona, the no Flay available for Shousey. He's only level 2 as well. The hook goes down, but Shousey is in no man's land. Mark tanking the turret absolutely perfectly, aiming, getting that fleet footwork, a little bit of extra movement speed, but it is not enough to get him in within range, even with those extra little boots he's got on him, little booties. But overall, BLG finally finding moves, and this is what we wanted to see. It's exactly what we wanted them to do coming into this game too.
And specifically for Meteor as well. Like, Amy and Mark have been doing this all of last game as well, playing beautifully through the 2v2, but having Meteor now giving them attention as well, setting up and following up on the advantages that BLG's bot lane are inherently creating for themselves, means that they are so much more potent. Now though, Shousey, this is a bit dangerous.
He should be alright. His jungler's around the top side of mid, as Syndra was leaning towards it. I don't think Meteor's feeling that great, as Zika walks headfirst into a Scat of the Week and gets himself stunned up. A little bit of CS onto him, or a little bit of damage on top of him while he's trying to CS. And overall, nothing too untoward happening so far. They are going to try and see if they can catch out Irma. He has not got his flash available. I think this is what they're trying to punish right now. Mark has his for him, but with all these vision, with all these wards, they are pretty much caught out in the act, and they will not get any purchase off of the time they've spent here.
Zika's mana is also very low in this mid lane, so Zika would love to be able to... Ooh, hang on. That was close. Shousey early getting that flash hook, but... yeah, not quite able to do it, but burning that anyway on Amy means, again, you could set up potentially for Hacker here in the bot side. Is you are ways off, honestly, from being able to set anything up, but Hacker, still here in this bot side, wants to see if he can answer for Meteor's gank earlier on.
Have vision on the river, but nothing in the bushes. Now it's 3v3. All 6 people are here. Teleport's available for the top laners if you want to go for it, but Shousey is dead. No flash with that flash hook down. He has no escape. Meteor in the right place at the right time. Hacker getting nothing to say back to it, and that is 2 kills now to BLG. They've got a 1,500 gold lead. This is kind of snowballing away from them.
Yeah, fantastic job from BLG. 2 kills now over towards aiming and just raiding eStar so well. And again, punishing these overextensions from eStar. Shousey way too far over there to try and make that play work. Misses the hook. And from that point, Mark is able to punish. Now, looking at top side, UV's got this big advantage. Bot side's got this big advantage. Jungle's doing swimmingly. I would love to see BLG now turn towards trying to pick up some of these early dragons. You've got the push going in on bot side now as well, which again unlocks Mark from this bot side, so he's starting to roam mid. I think you need to do this once again in about a minute's time, see if you can bring Mark up towards that Rift Herald and really start to just power through with this influx of gold. Hit that late game portion where you've 2 items on towards Zeke and 2 items on towards aiming, and then you'll be in a fantastic position.
You're looking at double longsword versus a high noon quiver already finished up for aiming, and that is just a huge amount of early game damages. We see now ZS going in, or ZS going in, depending on if you're American or European. As you see 3 people up to this top side. Meteor's here though, and this could be a little bit of a turnaround as Hacker is eventually able to take that lantern and keep himself alive. Good job, minion. Meteor keeps himself safe, but those undertows are landing. They need to be so careful. There isn't a huge amount of mana here. Flash in. He's trying to go for Shousey, who has nowhere to go. No flash to save him. ZS also needs to be so careful, but they've given enough time for BuBu to get respawned and come back into this lane. Hacker getting jumped upon and killed. 2 more kills for 1. This is the BLG we wanted to see in game 1.
BLG is like an alligator with no toothbrush. He's angry right now as they come back into game number 2. He's working up a storm in this top lane. Now again, Meteor getting more kills over their way. Setting up as well for BuBu to come in here. Didn't even have to burn the flash, just able to run down Hacker since he had that speed up off the TP. BLG are doing a great job of raiding eStar, and now a 3,000 gold lead at 8 minutes into this game.
This is why so many of us said, on paper, this BLG roster looks good. They have the mechanics, they have the players to make things happen if they can make the pieces work. As I say that, Xiaoxi still without his flash and without a prayer, as he is going to be pretty much finished off without any trouble whatsoever. This is getting a little bit unfortunate for the Threshman, who was the MVP of the last game.
And honestly, it doesn't bode well for eStar as a whole. Like, as the season starts to progress, the fact that Rat and Xiaoxi are just hemorrhaging gold in this bot lane, just from a simple 2v2, the domination that's coming through from Amy and Mark, doesn't fill me with confidence as we start to go on, because you need to be able to shore up this bot lane if you want to have any sort of hope going in towards the future. But either way, Amy and Mark, like, the flip side of that coin. Yeah,
look at the item difference.
The flip side is they're doing damn good. Gale Force already completed for Amy, and I'm so excited to see that these two are working well together. Amy needed a strong laner that could work alongside him so he could be the 1v9 carry coming over from the LCK. Well, I never expected to say it, but Mark seems to be fitting that bill right now.
Mark got onto Leona, something that he is, I would argue, one of his most comfortable champions we've seen on him in most recent days with LGD, and it just looks like it's working. You are a pickaxe and 2 lonely longswords against a finished Gale Force. Moby boots are as well on top of Mark. This is just so difficult. You can't come to this bot lane, Rat. You have to go away. You can't be here.
And look at the difference. Like, in playoffs, across the board from all the analysts, Mark was the weakest support in playoffs. All out of the 8 teams. And even then, I had him ranked, I think, maybe 11th to 13th in the LPL. Now being paired with Amy, he's looking so damn good. Now, to put the caveat on this is against an eStar that has looked shaky in the bottom lane, and we're seeing it once again. But still, at least, it seems like a new lease of life.
Hacker. Oh, Irma has to flash in just to save his jungler's life, but again, look at they're losing on bot side. They gain a flash for a flash, and bot side, like, it's 30 CS, it's 3 kills, it's all this XP. It's a level 4 Xiaoxi to a level 6 Mark. The bot lane can't come near here. There's nothing they can do. These next 2 dragons are 100% BLGs, all going to plan.
And as well, Meteor was able to pick up that Rift Herald as well, just off screen. So, I mean, Meteor's got the gold influx that he can potentially use now to snowball mid, snowball top, but they need to be careful on this top side.
Oh, as beside that now, they're going to be 2v3 as they have got Bew down, but these are very, very low health bars. Mark, you're tanky, but you don't do a lot of damage here as they're going to try and get them all escorted out. That's a lot of low health bars. Unfortunately for Bew, he just wasn't able to stay alive long enough to get any of these kills, but you had to commit 4 people onto the top side, and look at the rest of the map. You've got Orianna pushing into the mid lane. Any kind of jungle camps in that bot side, they're going to be meteors. There's nothing he can do. There's nothing they can do about this, and they might just have to give up all the pressure on the bot side entirely for this foreseeable future.
Exactly, and you can already see the vision control is coming in. As you said, Rift Herald's still there for Meteor, so the fact you're getting this chip damage on the mid lane turret opens up the potential in like 2 minutes, well, not so much 2 minutes, but maybe in a minute's time to toss down this Rift Herald, try and crack open that, and just giving a lot more gold over towards Zika. So now aiming, hey, he's got a heap of gold in his back pocket. Zika now is starting to get rolling, and yeah, sure, you've set Bew behind, but he's lethality Jace. Like, he is going to do a heap of damage off of these 1.5 items anyway, so setting him behind that little bit isn't going to mean too much in the grand scheme of things. This 2-item spike for BLG is still going to hit like a truck, and it's coming damn fast.
Yeah, like, even though they've kind of, focused out the Jace to try and, like, shut him down, he still has his first item. He still has enough, like, early game burst, which is what you want to be doing if you're a Jace. You want that early game to try and solidify your position in the team fights before it gets to that later stage, where we do expect the Kennen to kind of become a much bigger team fight threat, as the Kennen just generally becomes, because of the AoE ultimate with the Slicing Maelstrom. So overall, I still feel very, very good if I'm on the side of BLG. You have a 4,000 gold lead. Rat is literally getting absolutely nothing. He walks towards the tower just to try and see if he can pick up any kind of CS, but I don't think he can stay here. Honestly, it's just so difficult for him. They are going to try and bring up everybody else to try and protect him just so he can get something here, but this is just, it just feels bad, man.
Yeah, with the cavalry here, our BLG will back away, but they're getting what they want. I mean, look at the vision that's for them on this top side. Pinks galore, littering the jungle of eStar. They pop that Rift Herald. Here's more gold influxed in towards Amy. Now, honestly, I would have preferred to see this maybe given elsewhere. Maybe giving it over towards Zika so he can get towards that Luden's Tempest. This is such a big spike for Zika, however mid.
Yeah, we're going to see them going in. BLG gets taken down. So BLG giving eStars a fair whack of the stick. But again, while that's all happening, you have 3 people up on this top side. Where is Rat going to go? He has to use his cleanse immediately. Mark does dodge out the hook. They should be able to take this tier 2. So yeah, you lose a kill in mid lane. You've gained a tower, in 2 towers even, as now Rat has to use his ultimate to keep himself alive. Why would you go golden? Why would you go golden, Shousey? They are going to try and kill off aiming. He stays alive just barely. The hook misses. And now Shousey's going to die as well. He takes down 2. It's disaster for eStars. They thought they could defend, but you have nothing. And that's 2 items. 2 items on the Jhin versus a bunch of bargain bucket stuff. This is disaster for eStar.
Yeah, I was saying, Chelsea, that was an asshole move. Like, just
yeah, I'm calling it right now. You take that bullet.
Rat was lining up to get out of here. Like, watch, he just positions himself entirely behind Chelsea, and Chelsea's like, no, I'm not taking this for you. I'm the carry here. But
the guy will not die, and.
Nice response coming through from BLG though. You see the play going in mid, they've committed multiple members. Great, we'll get a tier 2 now on this top side, open up a lot more pressure for us if we want to try and maybe stick BLG up on this top lane, and as well then able to turn that around. Just understand, look, this Gore Drinker Olaf is huge. Same when we look towards the Menta CC that can be provided from Mark. Aiming even getting that kill on the way out too onto Shousey. Like, BLG are so far ahead, it's not even funny.
Yeah, and this is why,
I mean, look at the
as
turtle.
I said again, yeah, look at the turtle. It's just insane. But like, look at it, just like 6,000 gold of 15 minutes is just absurd. You can't go anywhere near your enemy. You can't go. You can't push up without perfect knowledge of where everybody is. You have to have multiple people protecting others. Look at this. ZS can't do anything. He has to back away. Hacker is here, but what's he gonna do? It's an Orianna like level 11. Here level 9. There's not a lot there, and Mark is here to just play bodyguard for the Orianna.
TP.
They're gonna drop the solar flare. TP is being committed as well. This is just BLG having fun with their food, and they're going to be able to gift that one over to BLG. This is the BLG I wanted to see. This is why they're a scary team, and this is why there's so much discrepancy between 14th and potentially 4th.
And look at the difference. Like, once you stop, like, you take Zika off this Twisted Fate, he did not look comfortable on it. BLG know how to operate. This is where Meteor is comfortable. This is where Mark is comfortable. It's understanding how we can group together, move around, and now eStar are sitting ducks.
Yeah, they kind of just get hit up here. Rat's still waiting on his first item. Most of BLG picking up their first into the seconds coming up very, very soon. They have to TP towards the bot side to try and deny everything. It won't be a perfect game in terms of kills, but they might try and just do it in terms of objectives, because right now they just own the map. So right now for eStars, in my opinion, they need a massive mistake from BLG, and probably a couple of them, to be perfectly honest, to try and like elongate this game, to drag it out to the point of which they can get items onto their Xayah, they can get items onto Irma, and small little things like this, like taking out the Ragnarok, they will help, but they need big mistakes.
Well, the thing is that, like, eStar could have played around a one-item spike. I mean, Luden's Tempest, Gale Force, Rocket Belt in the top lane, like, this is a really big spike for the squad. The problem is, they aren't finished that, and Rat's not gonna quite die, but the thing is, you've already got the one item heavily committed towards that second item already. Collector for aiming, like, you're so far behind that that one item is just negligible now on the side of eStar. BLG are running away with this game. Get that mid lane turret, cool, let's pour bot side. BLG have already shoved in here with Zika. Like, this is just beautiful macro setup from BLG.
And this is a perfect example of something we talked about in the first game. Why do we not see more crit hyper carries? Because if this happens, you're screwed, mate.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do. You are so far behind. And a Jhin with 2 items is at a massive spike. Yes, he is massively fed, but this is not an outlier of a situation. This can happen in any game because that's just the way it goes. And when you're someone like a Xayah, there's nowhere for you to go from there. You just have to wait and hope and pray that you get some CS, you get some experience, you get some gold into your pocket. Oh, as I say that, Rat will not get anything right now. As Rat, as I say that though, the Zika has been delayed just a little bit longer than he probably wanted to, and Irma commits the TP. He's going to dodge out the hook. Meteor is here with Bubu. They flash in on top of him as well, and he gets him out with the Dark Passage. Nicely done. That's what you need to do with your eStars. You need about 7 more of those, and you're back in this game, but nicely capitalized. Oh, as I say that, aiming. It's never stopping. They're just going for full engage all the time. Aiming going to be able to keep himself alive, but now Mark's in a little bit of trouble. He's on the backside of this fight, but do they look to try and maybe re-engage this? They do, because they've caught the Korean sniper on the backside, just peppering these shots in. Mark doesn't want to go down. He will just about stay alive. They can't walk forward into aiming, and nobody dies in the top side, but it does delay BLG a little longer.
It does delay, but it's a huge amount committed from eStar. You got the TP from Irma to go towards that bot side play. Again, a lot of resources, and the flash committed from ZS to go towards that top end. Hey, there's a dragon in a minute 20. You now have no flash in your cannon, which is crucial for setting up these team fights. No flash, no TP in your Syndra. Again, such important summoner spells if eStar are hoping to get the picks that they need in these fights. Whereas on BLG's side, yeah, sure, you got the flash and the heal out of aiming, but aiming's going to be sitting way in the back with that curtain call. You're not going to have access to him, and the rest of BLG, well, they're ready to fight.
This is still, you know, you can concede this if you're on the side of eStar. You don't have to fight for this third Infernal. However, if you don't fight at this, or you don't able to steal it, you just basically cement in your mind that we have to fight in 5 minutes time. That's basically what this is. You are now officially on a timer. I think that's honestly the best play to do right now, because you just need gold. You need items. You need to be at some way, shape, or form able to just 100-0 someone, because luckily for them, if they are able to get on top of aiming, if they are able to catch him out, he has no defensive items. He has no way of kind of, apart from the Gale Force in terms of repositioning, but no QSS, no stopwatch right now. That's where you're going to try and find your kill, because if you can take him down, a lot of that advantage that BLG have accrued, it just goes away.
BLG now, though, full control over this. Aiming starting to move across from top side, so they need to hang on until all their pieces are here, but it looks like eStar aren't going to try and contest. ZS up on this top side. He's going to have no way of trying to flank in on this opportunity, and Bubu as well is heavy shoving in this bot lane, so someone from eStar will have to go for it.
Yeah, you can see right now, they're just giving it up. They know they don't want to fight just now. No flash onto ZS means there's not really that much of an opportunity. Plus, you look at, you know, Irma, who also used his flash. His Rash,
oh my.
He's used the Gale Force. He could have 100-0'd them literally just with the curtain call. That's how far ahead aiming is. I
got a little bit nervous there for him, but not able to stop the port there coming in from Xiaoxi. But either way, look, BLG run from one objective to another. Baron now, fantastic. They're going to be able to get control over River here. It's only 20 minutes into this game. Like, it feels like we're so far advanced because of how far ahead aiming is and where the dragon situation is, but BLG, like, this is insane. This is just put the foot down, ram straight the way through eStar, and make sure that they're not able to get anything.
Game 1. All right, you know what, eStars, we'll let you have that. We warmed up. You took a very long time. All right, we're back. We're in the game now. We're here. We're ready to go. And that's basically what's kind of happened here is they now start pinging Baron. This is a 21 or just after minute Baron. There's still a Scuttle Vision, though, which has been the saving grace for eStars, because there's honestly, they could burn it down so quickly just with just the items they have right now.
Yeah, it's the Jace and the Olaf that really can just help burn it. Like, Jhin isn't great at taking Baron, and same when you look at Orianna, her cooldowns are very long, but just having this much damage on the team means you can do it relatively quick. Still only 21 minutes, so still have to be careful, especially if you look at like grouping up for the likes of Irma and ZS in this pit. That could be the turnaround here for eStar, but you can see it there. They're confident. They're going to start it up.
Yeah, they're feeling good. They know they have got pretty much total control of this river. They are perfectly aligned away from the Baron. However, they are backing away from it just now. Zika not having the best of mana situation. Neither is aiming. Mark was trying to see if he could catch someone out up on that towards mid lane if they were trying to look for pressure, but Rat. Oh, Rat, he's not having a fun time, and it's not going to get any better until, I'd say, honest. Oh, Rat. Yes, he's the Gale Force. Got himself out, and Hackers play and keep away with the extra shots. So, nicely done there by eStar to keep themselves alive. But Rat's literally got another, I'd say, honestly, 20 minutes until he's relevant in this game.
Yeah, I mean, you're not far off. Now, to give him his due, his farm is doing relatively okay. It's not like he's been massively set behind in the grand scheme of things, but he is, 20 CS behind the mid, 36 CS behind in bot lane. Like, and again, he needs both those items to be relevant, not to be massively strong. Like, there's still a long way before this guy is going to do a huge amount in these team fights.
Boo, that was mean. That was unnecessary. You weren't even going to commit to it. You had flash and everything. If he commits to that, I find a lot more... I'm going to find that play a lot more, but that was just me kind of saying I could kill you, but I choose not to. It's about sending a message. But you can see eStar's here, trying to see if they can set up a bit of a mismatch as they go for these towers. A little bit of standing gold available to them, and that 6,000 gold hasn't really gone anywhere in a little while, so it's not really doing much for the side of BLG, apart from just deterring eStars away from fighting. But with the vision that's kind of stacked around this Baron, with the time that ZS has been given his bot lane, this is okay for the side of eStars and BLG. They kind of they've kind of taken their foot off the gas a little bit.
Yeah, I like what eStar are trying to do here, using the fact you've got 2 TPs on ZS and Irma, and like keeping Irma here, because someone from BLG will have to deal with that eventually. But the problem is they're just turning on towards this Baron, and the rest of eStar have no idea this is happening.
They also don't have their 2 solo laners. They are both in the bot side. Both teleports are available, but the Baron down to about 1,500 HP means it is going to go over to the side of BLG. TPs are here. Solar Flare goes down. It slows Rat down. There's ZS trying to go in with the flank, but he's stopped in his track by Mark. Beautifully well done. And he is going to fall similar to Bilibili did, how Bilibili did in the previous game. But now Irma being jumped straight on top of a Ragnarocking Olaf. There's Bilibili coming in with the Shock Blast and to the skies as Amy picks himself up his 6th kill of the game. Rat has cleanse, he has flash, he has ult, but he doesn't really have anywhere else to go. He has to back himself up right up into his base, but Bilibili does not care. Bilibili wants more. They're going to jump in. Aiming finds himself a kill. Hacker gets hit with a Shock Blast. There's minions in the mid lane. They've got Barons up as well. Last game took 40 minutes. They want this one to be ending in the next 2.
Yeah, I mean, BLG have, like, there's, dotting your I's and crossing your T's, but they've got the paragraph done, the full stops there, they've written end in nice cursive. Like, this is over. eStar, you have no hope of coming back into this. 15 seconds until you get this dragon up from eStar. They literally just run at it and pick it up as they want. Now you've got an Inferno Soul that you're dealing with. Baron is still up, and you can see here, this was the one chance. If maybe you get the flash here from ZX, maybe, just maybe, you can get on towards those vulnerable carries in the back line. But Mark and Bilibili are on him straight off. You get the knockback coming through from Jace, which prevents the flash, and then just follow up CC and through from Leona. And from that point forward, eStar will win.
Infernal Soul now gifted over. 2 Infernal Souls in 2 games, 1 for each team, and 10,000 gold, or a little bit shy of it, but it doesn't really make that much of a difference considering it is at 25.5 minutes. They're going to push in towards the top side, or the bot side, as well as the mid lane, just escort those minions in.
It's basically, yeah. You got to bully Rat in the way.
Got to bully Rat. Got to make sure he knows. That being said, he did the most damage in that last team fight, so fair play to him. He did more than Aiming did, but it doesn't matter because he has the health bars are what matter. If you haven't got a health bar to tank 2,000 damage, then that 2,000 damage is far more useful to you as a team. But they're going to crack themselves up a 2nd inhibitor turret, working on towards that 2nd inhibitor. And like you said, I feel like if you're eStars, you're kind of, thinking of the next game, and I feel like, yes, they got away with the Xayah in the first game, but I'm going to come back to that one next time as we see the curtain call coming in. They're jumping straight onto Irma, who gets taken down by Zika. Massive 4th shot coming in off of the final curtain call. They're onto the Nexus turrets. There's no way they can really come back in on top of this. Good attempt there from ZS. Good attempt from Hacker, but it's over. You can't really do much about it, and this all stems from just a snowball in that bot side. BLG aren't done. They want to make sure Rat knows that he was being bullied. Rat gets himself a nice little kill, though, and says, I'm not that bad. I still have enough in the tank. Never mind, Zeke can fix that one up. So 27 minutes, and that is going to be a 1-1 scoreline for BLG, bouncing back pretty comfortably in Game 2.
Yeah, and that's the BLG that I expected to see coming into 2021. This is what I wanted to see when I saw the names that are on this roster, and specifically MVP bot lane. Like Aiming and Mark.
Yeah.
Both games now have had